Hi, I'm Dr. Isaac Alexis from the Slim Samurai Media Group 84, helping you to slash through sickness and offering you a slice of health and wellness. Today's topic is cocaine, disparities in sentencing. Before I continue, don't forget to subscribe, click on the notification bell, like, comment, so I know what to talk on future medical topics, and share with 25 of your friends. Let's continue. Cocaine. We're going to look at today the disparities in sentencing. This is an issue very close to my heart. My cousin died from overdose related to crack, and so it's an issue very close to my heart. And there's one caveat to that, and I'll get to that later. Now let's begin. According to the National Survey on Drug Use and Health, nearly 1.9 million, roughly, which equates to 0.8% of the population age 18 and older, are current cocaine users, meaning that they had usage and utilization of the drug within the past 30 days. Now, about a quarter of all cocaine users smoke the crack cocaine formulation, meaning that a majority of people who use the cocaine do so in powder form. The 2016 National Survey on Drug Use and Health confirms that 3.3% of all white people and 5% of all African American people over age 18 have used crack in their lifetime. President Joe Biden's Justice Department is urging Congress to pass legislation to permanently end the sentencing disparities between crack cocaine and powder, a policy that has led to the very disproportionate incarceration of African Americans across the United States. I worked as a federal medical director in the Department of Justice, in the Federal Correctional Institutes, and there are way too many African American men that are there. It's very painful as African American male, personally, and quite frankly, this country needs to do much more to have more available resources for more African American men and women, and not just throw us in the penitentiary. Hate to get on my soapbox, but it is what it is. Anyway, according to the Justice Department, we believe it is long past, this is in their words. According to them, this is direct quotes. This is them speaking. We believe it is long past the time to end the disparities in sentencing policies between federal offenses involving crack cocaine and those involving the powder cocaine. End quote. Now, according to the Justice Department, as of March of 2021, this year, the U.S. Sentencing Commission data showed 87.5% of people serving federal prison time for drug trafficking offenses involving crack cocaine were primarily African American. Now, in the upcoming months, lawmakers are going to hear from experts about something called the Equal Act, which stands for eliminating a quantifiably unjust application of the law, also known as the Equal Act. The disparities between crack and powder cocaine date back to the war on drugs policy from the 1980s, when President Ronald Reagan was in office. In 1986, Congress passed a law to establish the mandatory minimum sentencing for drug trafficking offenses, which treated crack and cocaine powder offenses using a 100-to-1 ratio. Under that formula, a person convicted for selling 5 grams of crack cocaine were treated the same as someone who sold 500 grams of powder cocaine. And in states like Alabama and in the South, this really was disproportionate. Even for, you look at marijuana offenses, where a very minute amount of marijuana gave a mandatory 20-year sentence, which is outrageous. Anyway, I digress. The 100-to-1 ratio was later reduced in 2010 under something called the Fair Sentencing Act, and it decreased that ratio of 100-to-1 to now 18-to-1. In 2018, Congress passed the First Step Act, which sought to help the low-level crack cocaine offenders take advantage of this 18-to-1 ratio and apply retroactively for sentence reductions. However, the Supreme Court last week ruled that retroactively, offenders could not have their sentences reduced. Now, in a rebuttal, the Justice Department urged Congress to ensure that the Equal Act, unlike previous laws, be applied retroactively. Now, I'm going to discuss why this is close to my heart. As you remembered, I discussed not only in my books on drug addiction and recovery, which were Amazon #1 bestsellers and won 4 international literary awards. I discussed my cousin passed away from crack overdose. And yes, I was angry and furious at the dealers who did such. But after a while, there comes a time where financially the budgets of incarcerating so many African Americans can be used elsewhere. Why not help in building more colleges? Why not help in supporting much more social and economic priorities that can benefit Black, brown communities, which will in turn benefit the greater majority communities? Because, of course, we're in all of this together. And not getting on my soapbox, but it is what it is. Myself, I've been called the N-word. I've survived many in medical school, a group of racist Texans and a group of males. We won't mention who they are, but they said that as an African American, I'm an animal and that I won't amount to much, and that they doubt I would even pass my classes and graduate. But needless to say, by the grace of God, Yahweh, not only did I pass my medical school classes, I also got accepted to the prestigious Cornell University trauma surgery postdoctorate internship, one of the most rigorous programs in the nation, serving around 120,000 visits in its very, 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 very busy emergency department and trauma bay, having to work 32-hour shifts, having to work 100-hour work weeks. When I was tired, I was forced to remember back in medical school when those group of males who did not look like me, who called me because of the color of my skin, they called me an animal, and they said that they doubt I would even graduate. I not only proved them wrong, I also was able to find a new and deeper component of myself with excellence that propelled me to work 100-hour work weeks in a very busy Cornell University trauma surgery. And I am happy to say I was able to help Black, white, brown, red, green, purple, indigo peoples of all the beautiful color of God's rainbow. And so I'm happy to say that with these experiences, it will not break me, but instead the Lord sent it my way to make me. Because remember, pain, PAIN, simply stands for this, my samurais and my samurettes. PAIN. It's the purpose that ascends the individual you to the N, the next level. It's sort of in mathematics, it's like the X to the N potential, exponentially speaking. It's the infinite potential where there are no limits. God will use the current attitudes of the people around you, which are negative. They may judge you based on outward appearances that you genetically had no control over. So the attitudes, God will then cause that to burn a fire in you, which increases your cerebral aptitude. So from the surrounding attitude, it's going to lead to an increased cerebral aptitude. With that aptitude, you're going to fly high and now reach your God-given divine altitude. So without the attitudes, you would have never reached the aptitudes, and without that aptitudes, you would have never flied higher than an eagle to reach your new altitude, soaring from glory to glory. That's for somebody out there today. My samurai, my samurai, that's for you. I tell you, subscribe, and this is going to build somebody up today. And I'm a motivational coach, also motivational speaker. Also, I can get you out of the slump if you don't feel like exercising. I have one-on-one running classes. Today I just ran 12 miles, and it was in the mountains, so it's high altitude that I just discussed. So it's a lower oxygen concentration, but it may be low in oxygen, but it's high in roaring perseverance that it will derive from you. My samurais and my samurettes, just remember, it's a sure bet that your health is your wealth. And it's not financial wealth only, but it's also spiritual wealth. It's also mental wealth and mental health. And it will propel you to levels that you have not witnessed before. So may you be blessed by the almighty, uncompromising, ever soaring, ever omnipotence of the Almighty God. It may be that you are down for a season, but there's a reason that God will send and supersede all the doubters of your life. You may have encountered strife, but you no longer have to suffer. You can stand and receive divine redemption in the redemption that the Lord has in his hand, a unique plan that you may currently not understand, but he will give you the mantle by which you can withstand any attack of the enemy. And the Lord will be with you and guide you. And under his wing, there will always be shelter for you, no matter who you are. God bless. I'm Dr. Isaac Alexis from the Slim Samurai Media Group 84, helping you to slash through sickness and offering you a slice of health and wellness. Peace.